Lessons in not crossing a motherfucking gay man. I just went to Sephora to get color matched and get some new foundation. Sue me. And the boy helping me has a full face of glam makeup, and I see this old bitch out of the corner of my eye looking at me like this. Huh? But I was in a good mood, so I was gonna be like Elsa and let it go, let it go. But she stood there, glaring at me. So I said, "Is there something you would like to say to me?" And she just went, "Disgusting." I said, "Ma'am, your face is the one that looks like a crinkle cut french fry. There's not a damn thing in this store that will help you. You dial-up internet, home phone, cable TV, Facebook using Ask Jeeves looking bitch." And now she's looking at me like I just slapped her dead mom. So I just said, "Just leave me alone." And instead of taking her Jurassic ass to McDonald's to get her Filet-O-Fish, she says to me, "We're tired of you guys shoving your lifestyle down our throats." Bitch, if I hear that phrase one more time. I said disrespectfully, you would know if I shoved something down your throat. But we don't have to worry about that because there's just something about tooth decay that turns me off. My advice? You look like you have about 14 days left on this earth, so stop wasting it being bothered by my existence. Can we talk about tipping culture and how it's gone way too fucking far? So a few months ago, I got Botox at a new place, and the girl who did my Botox was pleasant. She was very chatty, and we talked about how the price of living in a big city has gone up so crazy. But she talked about how she was one of the lucky ones because she makes $60 an hour and just got a new Tesla. So I got to the front desk to pay my $750 for all of 15 minutes that I was in there to the front desk. And this bitch looked me dead in my eyes and said, "So how much gratuity are you planning on leaving?" I said, "For a med spa appointment, how much do people normally tip?" And she said, $200. I said, "Isn't this shit like 75% marked up already?" Listen, she was nice. I'll leave like $40. So, cut to today. I have an appointment booked for tomorrow, and I just got an email that it's been canceled. So I go on the website to check if there's anybody else that can fit me in tomorrow, if anyone has any availability. And her schedule has an opening where my appointment was. Of course, I immediately think maybe she's called out for the day, maybe something has come up. So I call this med spa and say, "Hey, do you have any appointments for Botox available tomorrow?" And they said, "Oh, we just had an opening," and it was that bitch at my time. So now I feel like they canceled my booking because I did not tip her $200 when she already makes $60 an hour. Lessons in not crossing a gay man. So I was just at a cafe for my mid-morning pick-me-up, and I was third in line. There was a lady at the counter, like, holding her kid, multitasking like women do, a guy, me, and then a couple. So the lady with her kid, she goes to pay, and she goes, "Fuck, I forgot my card." And then this guy goes, "Come on, bitch, we all got places to be." So I said, "Ew, I know you did not just speak to her like that." And he turned around and he goes, "It's not my problem if she can't get a babysitter." So I walked myself in between the two of them. I said, "That was a pretty big temper tantrum for such a little guy." He was like 5'11", so you know that pissed him off. And then he tried. He said, "I don't know who the bigger bitch is, her or you." And I said, "Cute, but I'd bet the only time you've ever made someone laugh is during sex." Oh, the fragile male ego. So he took a step towards me. I said, "I'm gonna stop you right there, bitch. You better make like your fucking hairline and take a big step back." So I turned to the barista. I started making my order. He said, "I was here first." I said, you lost your spot when you started acting like a little bitch. I'll get whatever she's having." I made my order. I said, "You too. I'll get yours as well." And I made the motherfucker wait.
An opinion you have that might piss some people off.
That women are the superior sex. I mean, imagine, dudes can't even fathom what it's like to live in a woman's body. Imagine going through puberty with all of those hormones and then that happening to you, and then you have decades where you can't even go a singular month without your body turning on itself. And then you're supposed to, like, grow a human and have it catapult out of you? No. And then your reward for decades of dealing with that is menopause. Not to mention the expectations of society on that woman who's now created a child with a chest to take care of on top of being boss babe, while maintaining her beauty standards, but of course not too beautiful, because if we're too beautiful, then she's dumb. And this is all that she's worth. And during all of that, having to keep their eyes out in parking garages for men. Meanwhile, boys just grow some hair, lose some hair, drink beer, and then have a meltdown when they don't get the attention they think they deserve.
I might have just saved a girl's life. I went to go get lunch after a spin class this morning, and I'm sipping on my iced tea and I am facing this girl. And because we're facing each other, we make eye contact a couple of times. And she's with a guy whose back is turned to me. And then all of a sudden, we're looking at each other and the girl goes like this. And lucky for her, right away I knew that she felt like she was in danger. So I just quietly went into action. I stood up and went over to the host and told her what I just saw. And there was another guy waiter there, and he was like, I'll totally help you get them apart. And here's where my BFA theater training came in. I walked up to the table like, oh my God, girl, what are you doing here? And then I put myself between the two of them and went to the guy like, hi, my name is Misha. And the waiter goes and scoops her up and escorts her away. So now the guy's like, what the fuck is going on? I said, I don't know, but she feels unsafe, so we're going to figure it out. And he was like, move out of my way, F-slur. Do you know who you're dealing with? I was like the most left swipe face on Tinder. I mean, my credit scores dropped just looking at you. Stay there. Cops have been called. He said, yeah, you look like you could take a punch. I said, yeah, you look like you regularly get in fights at a Waffle House. Anyway, it turns out that they met on a dating app and this was their first time meeting each other. And he insisted on picking her up and driving for their date. However, they are from San Antonio, 90 minutes away. She said that she told him multiple times, please turn around. I'm very uncomfortable going this far away from home. And he just kept driving. And at one point was like, well, I got you now. So a few things from today. Please remember that hand signal. It can fucking save your life. And let's be careful on how we set up our dates. Trust your gut. People who work in customer service, are you okay? I went to get a sandwich today and I ran into the mega lord of suburban women. This woman is literally on the phone while she's ordering her sandwich with a friend of hers, complaining how it's not fair that her son did not get a job because he's white. And because she's on the phone and barking orders at the girl who's trying to make her sandwich, the girl is getting confused on whether this bitch is talking to her or not. And this woman goes, pickles. So the girl picks up some pickles and puts it on the sandwich, and this lady lost her fucking mind. Hold on. Are you fucking stupid? If you can't speak English, then maybe you should not be working. You know what? I need to speak to your manager. The girl was like, I'm sorry, I thought you said you wanted pickle. Just get me your manager. I said, ew. Bitch, you look like you're asking for the manager because you're lonely. She turned to me, excuse me? What makes you think I'm lonely? I said, well, you do have that haircut that just screams, I never want my partner to touch me ever again. And then the bitch challenged me. She said, is that all you got? I said, oh, well, you must not know who I am. No. You're also shaped like a fucking duffel bag, which is fitting because you seem like you got a lot of baggage. She just looked at me with her mouth all agape, and I was like, yes, maybe we don't get racist over fucking pickles. Lessons in not crossing a gay man. Y'all, I just had the fucking cops called on me. So I just went to the nail salon because we needed a full set, and bitch. So I'm sitting there minding my own fucking business, and all of a sudden I hear, you need to leave. I went, oh, excuse you? And then this crusty dusty Abby Lee Miller looking bitch says to me, it's not right for you to be here. I don't deserve for my time to be ruined. I said, ew. And it seems like the only thing stuck further up your ass than your attitude are those fucking leggings. Have a blessed day. So cut to my dude putting these crystals on, and all of a sudden I hear him over there. And I look over, and this big-footed bitch is standing with an entire police officer. So this officer comes over and explains to me that this heifer claims that I was harassing her and wouldn't stop commenting on her ass. So now me and my nail tech are calmly explaining to the officer and the manager that she, in fact, came over to our station unprovoked and was harassing me. And all I did was stand up for myself. So the manager was really cool, was apologizing to me and offered to remove her. And I said, you know what? No, I've played this game before. I've learned this lesson. I said, no, she can stay and finish out her last appointment here. In fact, I'll pay for it because no harm, no foul, #olive branch. So I finish up, I go to the front, I pay for both, and I walk up to this water buffalo, I put the receipt on the table, and I say, and just so you know, this isn't a fucking apology. This is so every time you look at your nails on those wrinkly-ass hands, you think of me. And your ignorance, and how those two things are what got you banned from your favorite nail salon. Cute. I saw the most unhinged thing happened today. So I was just at my favorite coffee spot just typing out some emails. And there was a mom standing in line to order who had a child who was quite obviously differently abled. And this poor little kid, like 4 or 5 years old, was upset and crying. Well, this young guy who looks like Water Gun Kelly yells over, "I'm on a really important work call. Discipline your kid or I will." And Mama Bear just said, "I fucking dare you." And then he said, "Your poor life choices shouldn't bother everybody else." People in the coffee shop were like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa." And Mom just said, "I'm having a rough day. I'm getting my coffee to go, asshole. Can you just not?" So a couple minutes go by, and the mom is over putting milk and sugar in her coffee, and the kid is still crying. And this man gets up from his table and walks over, bends down into the kid's face, and screams at the top of his lungs, "Shut the fuck up!" Bitch, when I tell you that it was silent for like 1.5 seconds, and then the fucking place erupted. I jumped up because the mom started swinging, and I don't want her to get in trouble. These other guys get in this man's face and start pushing him back. And I finally get the mom's attention, who I'm holding back, and I'm just like, "It's not worth it, it's not worth it." And I'm like, she's trembling. The man is getting pushed out of the store and is still yelling, and I was like, "Shut the fuck up, we don't understand you, we don't speak White Claw." And he said, "I'll beat your ass." I said, "Okay, bro, come back when your biceps are bigger than your nose." This grown man screamed in this kid's face. And women are emotional. Straight women? How do you do it? I sat down for lunch today next to an older couple on a first date. Now, I'm no matchmaker, but this woman was beautiful and clearly put in effort, and the man looked like he just learned how to fucking stand up and whose sex life is just him and his hand reenacting the scene from Brokeback Mountain. I wish I could quit you. But the date got really bad when the woman said that she had breast cancer a couple of years ago and had to get a full mastectomy. And the guy responded, "Well, at least you got some new boobs out of it. They look great." And she was clearly shaken and silently crying. So he gets up to go to the bathroom, and I asked her, "Are you okay?" And she said that this was her first date since having cancer, and she feels like she just got punched in the stomach. So I asked if I could join her, and I sat down in his seat. So he gets back from the bathroom with noticeably dry hands and is confused and asks, "Who are you?" And I said, "Sir, you can leave. She deserves to have lunch with a man who's going to treat her with dignity and respect." He said, "A man? I'll show you a real man." I said, "Oh yeah? Making the woman you're on a date with cry is your idea of being a big, strong man?" And then funny how he knew exactly what I was talking about, because he said, "Oh, is this about the titty thing? It was a joke." I said, "Sir, a mastectomy is an amputation. Think about that for a minute. The mental toll of having part of your body removed, especially a part of your body that a lot of women associate with their own womanhood. Not to mention the physical pain of going through all of that. Or the weeks, months, years, or even lifetime of further procedures to have done. And a joke has to be funny. A joke is 80% of your sex life being with lot lizards in West Texas. A joke is the fact that I would bet that your parents no longer take your phone calls." He said, "My parents are dead." I said, "Well, then you never made them proud. Like I said, you can go." And then me and Eileen had a fabulous lunch. Is there anywhere that women are safe? I cannot believe how I spent my morning. Last night I went out for a friend's birthday. He's gay. We went to a gay club. Revolutionary. It was a group of 9 of us, mix of guys and girls, all in our 30s. We're all dancing, and I tell the group I have to go to the bathroom. And when I get back, I cannot find a single one of my friends. I do a couple laps of the place. I don't find anyone, so I go outside and nothing. I don't drink alcohol or go to clubs, so I just texted the group, "Hey, I hope you're having fun, but I'm gonna head home." I get all the way to the parking garage, and my phone starts to ring, and it's one of my girlfriends at the club. I answer, and she sounds wasted and says, "I can't find anyone." I said, "Stay right there, I'll be right there." So I walk back to the club, and she's standing outside, and she is a mess. I was like, "Girl, are you okay? We've been here 30 minutes. She's like, "I only bought 2 drinks. So I asked her if she wanted to ride home. She said yes, and so I took her home. Got her inside, and then I went home myself. And then this morning, I get a text message from her asking if I can come over. She said she woke up very confused, didn't really remember anything, checked her bank account, and had only spent a couple of dollars, and then went to the bathroom and saw that there was blood in her underwear. She immediately felt panicked and then started to remember dancing with a guy, and he pulled her off into a corner and pulled down her skirt, and she pulled it back up and said no and doesn't remember anything after that. So she asked me if I would go with her to the hospital because she felt guilty and was afraid to tell her husband. I will not go into what happened to her, but we spent the entire morning with doctors and police officers practically interrogating her as to why she was so intoxicated and why she would be dancing with a man that she doesn't know. In review, my girlfriend got assaulted at a gay club by a man, felt guilty about it, and then was treated like a criminal by the people who were supposed to be taking care of her instead of like the victim that she actually is. Before the comment section gets crazy, she told her husband, and he was absolutely mortified.